Entschuldigen Sie, wir sind nicht von hier. Ich suche die Killinger Straße 61.
Da wohne ich.
Mein Name ist Agnes Nielsen. Das ist mein Sohn Tronte. Wir sind neu in Berlin.
Oh my god, this is fantastic. Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Tia. This is my channel where I react to things, and today we are reacting to Dark. More Dark. Give me more Dark. I'm so excited about this show. It's so fun to watch it for the first time. My mind has already been blown so many times, and I am here for more. The ending of last episode, episode 7, was with Noah without a shirt, cleaning the floor. Like, there was so much happening in the end that was like crazy, because we saw Helge outside of the hatch. I keep calling it a hatch because that's just taking me back to like Lost times. That hatch makes me think of the hatch from Lost. So I'm gonna keep calling it the hatch. We know what we're talking about. So we saw Helge, the grown-up Helge, not the old one, the middle Helge, with the hood. He's one of the hood guys, and he was outside of the hatch. And then we, like, he has a body of a kid there. Surprise, surprise, again. And then we cut to Noah inside the hatch cleaning it, without a shirt, with this massive tattoo in his back of the thing that, oh my god, that Mikkel had like took from the wall of the hospital, I think. That same friggin' picture, the huge text was like, his whole back was covered with that tattoo. And then he's writing stuff on the wall, dates, years, to 1953. I would like to think that that means that in that time they were in the same time and place, right? Even though we saw Helge outside and Noah inside, I would think that that's the same time. We didn't see them together though. But like when Helge is outside, do we hear the cleaning or something? I don't know. I just feel like it was the same moment. And then if there was like 5th of November 1953, that's where, like, what he was writing on the wall. I would like to think that that's the time they were in. We also saw the little Helge earlier in that episode, or the episode before, who I would think is from 53. Based on the age, the clothes, all of that. So is he a child and an adult in the same time? So I guess the middle age Helge. The middle Helge is the like one traveling in time, and then the old Helge is stuck in the present time because of the dementia and everything. And then the little Helge, I guess, is just in 53. But he was in the, because Charlotte found the wallpaper in the hatch, I'm like, the hatch has to then be the wallpaper room. But at least now, when they were taking that kid's body out from there was no wallpaper. It looked like the hatch from present day. So I'm not exactly sure when, like, in what time is the wallpaper room there with the electric chair and stuff. Like, what time was little Helge in? Was he not in 53 then? Or was it like they put that room up like whenever they needed in different times, and then now it looked like they were cleaning it? They were cleaning it from the red dirt though. It wasn't like they're carrying like the electric chair out cleaning it, you know? Because the red dirt is the clue from the very first episode, that there was red dirt on Eric's, no, not Eric's body, on the Mads's body. And they were like, there was no red dirt or whatever. I don't know. I feel like I could talk about this forever, but then I also feel like I'm just saying the obvious things, saying the things that have happened. But these are the things that are in my mind constantly. Now that I'm not watching the show, I just keep picturing the shot of Noah from above when he like stretches back and we can see his face, and then when he turns straight to the camera and all that. Helge with when he turns and we see it's him with the hood, and that, like all these things. I'm like, what is happening? What is going on? I'm so interested in the show. There's a million questions, million characters in different times, which is wonderful. Now I wonder if we're gonna, because in my opinion we were already in 53. I would think that Helge and Noah were in 53 because they were writing those dates on the wall. So now I wonder, are we gonna go to 53 as well in this show, like show more of the 53 world, or are we gonna stay in the just in the two timelines that we've had before, the 2019 and 86? I don't know, but I am very, very excited to find out. My family tree situation, I guess it's still the same. I could write Noah somewhere in there, but I wouldn't know where to even put that. Because he's kind of not connected to anyone. The only one we know he's connected to is Helge, but I wouldn't say that they're like related. And then he has seen Bartosz, and then maybe the ultimate hood guy, the original hood guy. Because it was some hood guy, maybe that could have been Helge too, who then took Yasin and said that Noah sent me. And Elizabeth has also seen Noah. So I wouldn't know, I'm not gonna like connect Noah to all these people that he's talked to, because otherwise this would be a mess. But I think I'm gonna write him down in the corner. I think he deserves a little corner spot here, Noah. And then at some point, maybe after season 1, I will have to like fix the map situation and make a new one. So maybe by then we know something more about him, maybe not. Yeah, but thanks for being here, everyone. All the legends, thanks for watching the episodes beforehand. You guys are great. Thanks for the support. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to do this like full time, so I appreciate everyone who wants to join Patreon, see episodes beforehand, and become a member on YouTube as well. Gets 3 episodes before everyone else. So thanks for doing that, guys. You're great. I hope you're doing well. I hope you've had a good week. And yes, this video is coming a little late. I've had a very busy week working and stuff. But even if the videos come later, it's still always 3 episodes beforehand for you guys, for the members. And everyone on YouTube who is watching this later, thank you for watching. I really appreciate everyone. Thank you. Let's watch Dark. Season 1, episode 8. I have no idea what the episode is. Sorry. What the episode is even called. Everything is Now. Wait, no. No, yes, sorry. Everything is Now is the next one. Episode 9. Today we're watching As You Sow, So You Shall Reap. Yeah. Very biblical, like I said, I think, in the last video. Very excited. Let's go. Let's watch it. Hell is empty and all the devils are here. William Shakespeare. God. Oh my God. Yeah, see? This is Helge. We are in freaking 53. Has to be. Look at that bike. Like, where's my pillow? I think I need it right away. He still looks, so this has to be before the, because his ear looks fine and everything. Oh my God, wait, I do need the pillow right away. It should be part of my setup every time. Get the pillow ready. Don't wait to see if you need it or not. You will need it for sure. For sure. The police. And if we're in 53, is this then Is this then young Tiedemann? Guys. These outfits. Sorry. Yeah, they're saying Egon. I love this so much. The font size is way too small for us, guys. I like to have it big here. Okay, so they have found something here. It's like some construction thing.
Die Arbeiter haben diese beiden Leichen heute Morgen gefunden.
2 corpses.
Das sind ja doch Kinder. Sie sehen seltsam aus. Als hätte sie jemand verkleidet.
That's Eric, right? So whatever, oh my god. So whatever Helge and Noah and whoever else is doing to these kids, they're killing them and then they're putting them in different times. Yeah, because Mads, they moved to the future. 33 years after he was dead, they find his body. These two, because that's Yasin too, right? At least it's Eric. He's from 2019, and then they take him all the way to 53. I don't know why I'm smiling, because this is crazy. I mean, that's terrible, but yeah. And then they have super futuristic clothes for them, of course.
Als hätte sie jemand verkleidet.
Yeah, someone's dressed up in costumes. Because if you're in present time in 2019 and then you see they find Mads, for example, and they can be like, why are his clothes like from the 80s? And there's nuclear power for every household. This is where they, oh my god, I need to pause. I think there's too much information. Wait, my sentence is leaving my brain. Yes, with the clothes, that when you're in the future and there's a body with clothes from the past, you can be like, oh, it's weird that we found this dead kid who is dressed like in the 80s, you know, or in the 50s, or like this. But then when you're in the 50s and there's kids with clothes from 2019, you have no context and you have no reference to like what these clothes, why, you know, because it's from the future, you wouldn't know. So then it just looks like they're in costumes. You don't go like, this looks like clothes that will be in 2019, you know. I think it's still just as hard to believe that you're in 2019 and you find a body and then you're like, oh well, this body was killed 33 years ago and then just disappeared and now showed up. Like it's I think equally as hard to understand for people who don't have any idea that there's time travel stuff going on. But yeah, so this is the construction site for when they're building the plant. Of course, that makes so much sense. And that's where they put the bodies. Why would they put them there? Why do they kill these kids? Are they, I'm still like, because they put them in the electric chair and with the eye thing and stuff, I feel like they're trying to do something, but then when they don't succeed, maybe I'm just being too naive about this. That I'm like, maybe they're trying to do something, but it just doesn't work, so then they have to get rid of the bodies. Because if you just wanted to kill kids, there would be easier ways to do that than this. So I'm very interested why they are doing it, Noah and Helge and whoever else is involved. And why did they take the bodies like exactly here, for example, in this pile of sand? But, oh, and then there's the intro. Ah, it's so good. It's so good. I really love this. Like, if you're watching this show without headphones, I think that's a crime. The sound, not only the song, but the sound design in this entire show is insanely good. And of course you can have a good sound system at home and whatever, I'm sure it sounds good. But with headphones, it's so like, you know, inside your head. It sounds so good. So are we now gonna, we're in 53, so are we now gonna like get to know people from 53? Because I'm like, who would be alive in 53? Who is old enough that we have seen so far? From the present day 2019, I think it would be just Helge and, well, then like Ulrich's parents, for example, Tronte and Jana, they would be kids here as well, right? If they are, this is also like if they are from this town. But I feel like most characters have lived here their whole life, so it's easier. But yeah, they would be there, and then Bernd, who is Helge's dad, would be there, I guess, or in this timeline somehow, at least. Well, yeah, and then because in the 80s we have seen Claudia, for example. Wait, Regina's mom, Claudia, who is like, yeah, I would say like the middle version of Claudia. We haven't seen Claudia in the present day though, so I guess she has died or something has happened to her. But she would be a kid in this time. And Ines. I'm just looking at all the, it's wonderful that I have this map now for this little exercise. Yeah, Ines is also in that generation of peeps, that she's like the middle version in the 86. We've seen old version of her in the present time as well, but we haven't seen a young version of her. These are the characters that we might see in this episode. I'm sure we'll see a lot of other, like we saw Tiedemann now already, Egon, which is great. Again, the casting, like that he could very well be the young version of that actor from the 80s. Now he's expecting him. Where were we?
Bei der Einstein-Rosenbrücke.
Eine Passage zwischen einem schwarzen Loch, dem Eintrittsloch, und einem weißen Loch, dem Austrittsloch, die Raum und Zeit miteinander verbinden.
He's like teaching him? This is clearly not the first time. Yes, and he's following Helge to the freaking cave, that's right. Where Helge clearly also goes to often. I mean, Helge is so involved in all of this. Because he had the box with the light and stuff that he just knew was there. I wonder who put the red thread there. Are we gonna see that at some point? Nope.
Unser Denken ist vom Dualismus geprägt. Eingang, Ausgang, schwarz-weiß, gut, böse, alles kommt in Paaren daher. Aber das ist falsch. Haben Sie schon mal was von der Triketta?
There it is. Well, yeah. Triketta.
Der Dreisamkeit.
The Trinity Knot. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I'm gonna call it. I'm like, let me write the Trinity Knot and then draw it. So I, trying to draw that quickly, that did not. That looks terrible. Anyways, it's a good challenge. Try and like take a piece of paper and a pen and try to like fast draw that. If you can do it, let me know. I was not very successful. That looks terrifying.
Ohne eine dritte Dimension ist nichts vollkommen. Es gibt nicht nur ein Oben und ein Unten. Es gibt auch eine Mitte.
He found the door.
Sieh zuerst.
Oh my
Ein
god.
Wurmloch verbindet nicht nur 2, sondern 3 Dimensionen miteinander. Zukunft, Gegenwart.
Future, present, and the past. Yes, right? That's what I was thinking too when we saw this for the first time when Jonas came here and he had to choose from the 2 tunnels. My thought was that there's the present, like, because there is kind of 3 tunnels, because there's the one coming from the door and then the 2 going from there. That it's like this is the present and then the 2 options are the future and the past. That was my one theory at some point. That if you're in 2019, you could go to 83 or 86, sorry, or then the future, maybe. I don't know. He turned right, I would like to say. Jonas turns right, yeah. And he goes to 86. So we'll see where Ulrich is gonna go now. Is he gonna go to the same way and where that leads? Or then the other option that I had was that maybe there is just three times that it's possible to travel to or something. And they are these, like the 2019, 86 and 53. And then wherever you're coming in from, then the other 2 are the other options. The 2 tunnels, maybe. It is cool that they talk about that. He was talking about that everything is always in 3, like 33 years already. Then it's that, the Trinity, not, and all of this. I would like to know, for people who know, how likely is it that something like this could actually happen? Is this actually realistic in any way? Okay. Helge is from a rich family. Look at this house.
Herrgott, wie schaust du denn wieder aus?
Helge's mom.
Dort haben sie was.
Ausziehen. Ich sagte, du sollst dich ausziehen.
Oh my god. It's the 50s, guys. It's not that dirty. For her, it's like, dear God, what has happened? I'm like, it just looks like to me that he just came home from school. What a weird scene. But a great scene, telling a lot
Weiter.
about his relationship with his mother, at least, here. Daddy. With a cane. And a cough.
Na, mein Junge. Was hast du denn wieder angestellt?
Ich war auf der Baustelle.
Ja, schön. Und,
Rumgekrochen ist er wieder.
na sag, was haben Sie denn gefunden?
It's very interesting that his relationship with his dad seems a lot more chill, and the dad seems more nice than the mom. Helge's mom, rude. Helge's dad, nice. And with a cane. It's the details, guys, it's the details. And yeah, because he saw the dead bodies.
Dort haben sie was gefunden.
Ah ja, was haben Sie denn gefunden?
He seems interested. The mom was just like, you've ruined your clothes. You need to be punished. You know? He's like, no, tell me what happened.
Auf der Baustelle, da war alles voller Polizei.
Polizei.
2 Leichen, mitten auf der Baustelle.
Was redest du denn da?
Bist du dir sicher?
Ja.
And dad leaves. Is dad police? Something with the
Du
police?
lügst nicht?
She's gonna hit him again. Oh.
Die Groschen für Claudia liegen auf dem Tisch.
The coins for Claudia are on the... Yeah, true, because he's in love with Claudia.
Hatte jeder den Hals.
The freaking coins. And is it gonna have a year?
Die Prägung
Yeah.
stammt aus dem Jahr 1986.
Soll das ein Witz sein?
Es kommt noch toller. Schauen Sie, der kleine Zettel im Kragen.
Made in China. Yeah.
Made in China?
Alles, was die anhaben, kommt aus China.
What does this mean? Are they Chinese?
Die Tätowierung ist merkwürdig.
Have a tattoo?
Einiges Sonderbarer gesehen. Aber das hier übertrifft eindeutig alles.
A unicorn tattoo? He was like 15 or what was he? He has a tattoo? And the freaking gate. Is he in 53 then? Wait, did I pay attention to which way he turned? I don't think I just stopped talking. Because, yes, he goes left. Why did I not pay attention to that? Yeah, he goes left. So this has to be 53 then, because we have not seen that gate before. So yeah, the two options from 2019 are either 83 or 86 or 53. And he comes, looks for Mikkel. And Mikkel is 33 years in the future from here. This is insane.
1, 2, 3.
And what's gonna happen to him and when? I'm like, do I wanna know? Here's the cabin. Oh my god. Well, how does he end up there in the, like, when the wallpapers and the electric chair and everything is there then?
Sie schreiben über Nietzsches ewige Wiederkunft desgleichen. Ein Universum, das sich ausdehnt und wieder in sich zusammenfällt.
Oh my god.
Ein Universum, das sich unendlich wiederholt.
Oh, das habe ich schon lange nicht mehr gesehen. Alle 33 Jahre synchronisiert sich der Zyklus des Mondes mit dem das.
I love that we're talking to him.
33. Ist aber mehr als das. Sie begegnet uns überall. Jesus hat 33 Wunder vollbracht.
That's right.
Es gibt die 33 Litaneien der Engel.
Und es ist das Alter, in dem der Antichrist seine Herrschaft beginnt.
Yes. Oh, I love that we cut from Antichrist to him. I mean, when it comes to this show, I guess he's the closest guess I would have. Ew, he's looking at us again.
Wo willst du so schnell hin? Können wir uns die Seidenstrümpfe kaufen?
Oh, come on. You're so big compared to him. And now I'm like, are these people that we know from the future?
Mach dir mal nicht in die Hose. Deinem alten Herrn quillt der Zaster doch aus Norden.
What the fuck?
Hier ist jemand. Los!
Oh my god, Ulrich. They took his money and pissed on him. Freaking assholes. And then talking about how much money his family has. Well, like I said, the house was very, very nice. They're clearly very rich. Did he think Mikkel for 1 second?
Ist hier gerade jemand vorbeigekommen? So ein alter Mann im Schlafanzug?
No, that's me.
Ist okay. Du musst dich wehren. Sonst hören die nie auf.
Die sind doch viel stärker als ich.
Dann beiß beim nächsten Mal eben einfach zu.
That's the way to do it.
Sie stehen in einem unendlich großen, dunklen Raum und leuchten nach links. Der Strahl sollte auf ewig in die gleiche Richtung weiterlaufen. Ein Wurmloch verändert die Topologie der Raumzeit. Krümmt sie.
So it is the wormhole thing.
Nichts ist
That's how we're traveling.
umgekehrt.
Yeah. That it just keeps going around. See the sound. Are you guys wearing headphones? Sounds a little bit sexual. Yeah, look at these cars. I want to know what's in his head now.
Entschuldigen Sie, wir sind nicht von hier. Ich suche die Killinger Straße 61.
Da wohne ich.
Sind Sie Herr Egon Tiedemann?
Nein.
Mein Name ist Agnes Nielsen. Das ist mein Sohn Tronte. Wir sind neu in Wien.
Oh my god, this is fantastic. It's so good that there is at least one family. I don't know about like US and Hanna, for example, and that house, where that house came from, how are they living there? But that we have at least one family that has a family house that generations have lived in. So that when like Mikkel travels in time, he goes straight to the house and finds his dad and mom younger there and whatever. And now when we travel to 53, it's still like you can just say the address and he already is like, that's where I live, that's my address, or you know, and that's where they are moving. So Agnes, I don't know, where do I write this? So Tronte's mom is Agnes. Oh, it's so good. And then he meets he meets his grandma as they are moving in. Like, this is what I mean. Like, it's very convenient that most of these characters have lived in the same town for their whole life and generations. But then when they haven't, like here, for example, timing is so perfect that then we see the moment when they are moving into the city, you know? That Tronte is someone who hasn't lived in the city forever, but then the moment when he's driving in with his mom is when like the story collides with that and we see that moment here now with Ulrich, his son. Oh my god. She looks so cool. Her style is crazy.
Sind Sie Herr Egon Tiedemann?
So Tiedemann lived in the house before them then?
Und ist mein Sohn Tronte. Wir sind neu in Wien.
This is so fantastic.
Tronte, komm, sag dem netten Mann guten Tag.
Come and say hello to your son. Oh. Oh, this is crazy.
Guten Tag. Du bist Tronte, Nielsen. Und Sie sind Agnes Nielsen.
Ja?
Stellen Sie sich vor, Sie würden in die Vergangenheit reisen
Yeah.
und dort auf Ihren Vater treffen.
So good.
Noch ehe er Sie gezeugt hat.
Yeah.
Entschuldigen Sie die Frage. Aber welches Jahr haben wir?
Oh, you asked the right question.
1959.
Würden Sie mit dieser Begegnung bereits etwas verändern? Und ist überhaupt irgendwas veränderbar?
Ist alles in Ordnung mit Ihnen?
Oder ist die Zeit ein Biest, das auf ewig besteht und nicht bezwungen werden kann?
Yeah. Yeah. He's just like, gotta go, bye. This is great.
Mein Leben lang habe ich geträumt, durch die Zeit zu reisen, zu sehen, was war und was irgendwann sein wird.
He's like, you can do it.
Mein Platz ist nicht im Gestern und nicht im Morgen, sondern hier und jetzt.
And what time is this? Do we know that?
Kann ich Ihnen behilflich sein?
Oh my god.
Sind Sie H.G. Tannhaus? Der H.G. Tannhaus?
Oh my god. Okay, so right when I asked the question, what time were we? I guess we are in 86 then, there with the hood guy and the scientist. I'm gonna write his name down now because we've seen it so many times and I haven't written it down. H.G. Tannhaus. I will put him in a corner with Noah in the Nordic corner. And we'll fix that later if we figure out some connections with him. But he also seems like the kind of character that it's not necessary that he will have like actual blood connection to anyone else in the show. He seems kind of like the hood guy, even though the hood guy, I still think it might be Jonas. But they seem kind of outside of everything. Because now when we keep meeting new people, even here in the 53, everyone we've met there, I'm like, okay, who is this? Who are they related? Even the two boys who were bullying Helge, I'm like, who are they related to? What is their connection to everything, you know? But with a scientist, I don't think that. Now that we're in 53 and we can see him younger, or middle version of him, I think a little bit of like, okay, we see him in a different setting, not just in his workshop, working on this machine and talking about time, you know? Now it feels like he has a life and a normal, I don't know, some shop. Are you looking for a watch, he asks? Maybe he sells watches and things. So only now I'm like, okay, starting to think of him as a character in the show and in the story, not just like outside of it, talking about it at this like meta level. But yeah, he goes with the book that he hasn't written yet, with a really old picture of him.
Der HG Tannhaus?
No.
Ja. Nein, da wird doch nicht derselbe was.
Welches Jahr haben wir?
1953.
Well, but I would think that this...
Stalin ist tot, England hat eine Königin und der Nanga Parbat ist bezogen. 1953, wie es leibt und lebt, ja.
Das ist unmöglich. Unmöglich.
Because he must have, the scientist, he must have, even at this age, the middle version of him, he must have some kind of thoughts about time travel or something. I think it's quite unlikely that this, well, or it could be that this event now, meeting Ulrich, is the thing that's going to make him want to study it and, you know, learn more and figure stuff out. That's also possible. But I would think that when there's a guy who comes in and shows a book that you have written, but it's an old version, you haven't written it yet, you know, with your name and whatever, and he's asking what year is it and stuff, I would think for someone like him that already is like, rings some kind of bell, even if you don't think it's maybe possible, but rings some kind of bell of time travel, you know? And he was also giving the kind of answer that someone who knows about time travel, or who cares about time travel, who studies it or whatever, the answer that he gives to someone who is like, what year is it right now? And he says the year, and then he starts giving facts. England has a queen, this, you know, like this has just happened, Stalin is dead, or whatever he was saying, you know? No one else in the show has done that when someone has asked what year it is. This is a great connection if Ulrich is gonna want to find stuff out. Like, it's very smart that he would find. I don't know how he found this shop and this guy, but it's great that he did.
Tom?
A girl with a dog. Looks like we're in the 50s again. Yes.
Du bist spät. Ich hatte schon mal gesagt, dass du pünktlich sein sollst. Claudia.
And
ich hab
Claudia.
das Geld zu Hause vergessen. Komm rein.
My god. Claudia has a dog. And they've had a connection. I don't know what the money is for or what is this? What is this relationship? But yeah, because when we see them in the 80s, it's so clear that Helge is like in love with her. And she's, well, married and doesn't really care. She's some years older than him too, that we can see here. Oh, she's like a tutor to him?
Ja, das ist meine Tochter Claudia. Claudia, sag hallo bitte.
Guten Tag.
Agnes Nielsen.
Oh my god. What?
Tronte? Ich bin Tronte.
Claudia.
Ja, und das ist unser...
Wait. Okay, so this is this is the grandma of Ulrich again with his dad, Tronte, Agnes and Tronte. So yeah, I'm starting to, like, I was saying at some point, I think earlier on, like, I'm still quite good, like my brain is like not too messed up, my head is not hurting yet when I'm watching this show. I think this is the episode that my head is starting to hurt. This is it, because Ulrich was saying that they were looking for the address where he lives. And now they come to this house, which maybe this is the house then, the Nielsen's house. But Claudia lives there with her, yes, because of course Egan is her dad. So they live in the house, but it's not like they're selling the house. They are like renting a room upstairs or something to now Ulrich's grandma, who, well, it looks like it's just her and the kid. Like she doesn't have a husband or anything. I guess at this time it would be a husband, not like, hey, here's my boyfriend, the father of my child. That would be very scandalous. And then Claudia meeting Trompe, who she will have an affair with. They will have an affair later. And here they are meeting as kids. This just makes me laugh. This is fantastic.
Ich bin Tante.
Claudia.
Ja, und das ist unser Hund Gretchen. Ich hoffe, Sie haben nichts gegen Hunde.
Gretchen.
Mein Mann ist nicht so oft zu Hause. Der arbeitet bei der Polizei. Manchmal denke ich, er glaubt, er ist ganz allein verantwortlich für diese Stadt. Und Ihr Mann ist? Er ist gestorben.
He's dead.
Das tut mir wirklich leid.
Is there something happening here? It's too much. This is too much. The way she's looking at her is like, no, I don't have a husband and I don't care. I want you. Oh my god, yes. So Tronte's dad is dead. I'll just write dead, not dead. And then this is Claudia's mom, who I don't believe we have seen in 86. I'm like, do we know her name? Did she say her name here at the beginning? I'm so sorry.
Mein Mann ist nicht so oft zu Hause. Der
Yeah, we
arbeitet
don't
bei der
hear her name.
Polizei. Manchmal denke
Well,
ich, er glaubt, er ist ganz
yeah.
allein verantwortlich für diese Stadt.
Yeah, look at this.
Jemand ist-
My god. The
Ist
way
gestorben.
she's looking at her.
Das tut mir wirklich leid. Ja, wollen wir uns dann oben mal umschauen? Ja.
I'm shocked. I did not think that this would happen in this show. But here we are. I mean, I don't know if something's actually gonna happen, but that was clearly the way she's looking at her is like... Yeah.
Hallo Ines, hallo Jana.
Ines and Jana. Ines, okay, wait. Ines, the nurse, Mika's mom, and Jana, Ulrich's mom. Yeah, would be the same age. And would be friends here in this timeline at least. He's like getting hit left and right with his relatives from the 50s.
Hallo Ines, hallo Jana.
Ich soll Papas so abholen.
This is great.
Kahnwald. Hier Ines, schnurrt wieder wie ein Kätzchen.
Haben Sie schon
Yeah,
gehört,
the
was die
mole is
Polizei am
there.
Raum gefunden hat?
Nein, aber ich bin mir sicher, du wirst es mir gleich erzählen.
Oh, and perfect,
Im Lehrerzimmer gehört.
perfect saying it
So auf die Folter. Mama.
in front of him.
Stelle von der Platz 2 Leichen gefunden. 2 kleine Jungen. Die wurden von Außerirdischen entführt. Für Experimente.
Was hast du gerade eben gesagt?
Über die Außerirdischen?
Nein, über die Jungen.
Die Polizei hat heute Morgen 2 tote Jungen gefunden.
My god, he's gonna find them. He's gonna crack this whole thing up. Or open. Amazing. Oh my god, and he, left the jacket. I mean, not only is it a very futuristic jacket for them, but there's probably something in the pockets.
In Kernreaktoren wirtschaftlich nutzen.
This
Ein
is
winziges Atom verändert die Welt.
Helge's dad. Wait, what am I talking about? We have seen Helge's dad in the 80s. Yes, Bernd. Of course, he's the boss of the plant. Yes, that's why they're rich. he's here building, getting like probably money from these rich looking gentlemen to help build the plant. Yes, of course, that's him.
Verändert die Welt.
Bernd. He was in the wheelchair later too.
Sie werden sehen, das Ganze ist ein Komplott.
Okay. Yeah, but yes, that's because he's already, with the cane. And then he will be in a wheelchair later, so maybe it's some like a long-term illness or something that will just keep getting worse and worse. Not like an accident. Hey, let's go check out this cave. Why is Helge with them?
Mutprobe. Klar.
Don't do it.
Komm, wir gehen weiter. Dann sind wir los.
Oh, Helge was always... Loved her, but she would not like him. He's just bullied by everyone. But he's gonna fight back. He's gonna have his revenge. And the dog disappeared.
Komm hierher, Gretchen. Komm.
Where did the dog go? Is the dog gonna time travel?
Die beiden Jungs, die heute früh gefunden wurden, wie sahen die aus? Wie sahen die aus? Hatte einer davon braune Haare?
Ja.
Wieso wollen Sie das wissen? Mein Sohn. Mein Sohn ist verschwunden. Alles, was ich wissen will, ist, dass Sie mir sagen, ob eins der toten Kinder mein Kind ist.
Haben Sie schon eine Vermisstenanzeige aufgegeben für Ihren Sohn?
Kennen Sie einen? Helge Doppler.
Den Jungen von Bernd Doppler?
Nein, nicht jung. Alt. Etwas sieht sich.
In alt gibt es nur Bernd Doppler.
Bernd Doppler vom AKW. Bernd ist Helges Vater.
Richtig? Halt! Warten Sie! Hey!
Yeah, like he's trying to wrap his head around all of this as he's running around this town like 66 years earlier than where he lives. This is great.
Oder entsteht alles auf ewig neu in einem immer wiederkehrenden Kreislauf. Und wir folgen den Gesetzen der Natur und sind nichts als Sklaven von Raum und Zeit.
I like that we have these scenes in between of them, that their conversation keeps going on throughout the entire episode. Because everything they talk about, I'm sure makes a lot of sense. I think for me, it goes a little bit like this, because it's very philosophical and meta and stuff. So I know that it all has something to do with this, and they're talking about important things, but I feel like I'm missing quite a lot of the context of, or like, you know, the actual stuff. If there's actual stuff that they are saying here, stuff that should make us go, oh, okay, so that means this then. I don't know if I'm getting all of it. But I do like that it keeps going throughout this whole thing. And that then we see, for example, Ulrich talking to him, like a young version of him. His name again? Tannhaus. It's very cool. And the little snippets we get of their conversation are very short in between. And also that we hear the time jump sound after and before, or at least now we're hearing it, for example, which to me means that this has to be in 86 when they are talking about this. Because we saw him younger in 53, and we hear the time travel sound here. And clock tick. And then we move back to 53. Amazing.
Sie sind da.
Ja.
Die Frau, die wegen dem Zimmer angerufen hat. Sie ist eigenartig, aber ich finde sie nett.
She's odd, but I think she's nice. I also think she's gay.
Frau Nielsen, das ist Egon Tiedemann, mein Ehemann.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
She's like, I'm about to fuck your wife.
Ihre
It's
Frau hat
fine.
mir schon viel von Ihnen erzählt. Sie haben ein sehr schönes Leben.
Danke. Wie sind Sie heute angereist? Darf ich fragen, was Sie ausgerechnet hier nach Winden verschlagen hat?
Yeah.
Jetzt löchere sie doch nicht so. Wir gesagt, mein Mann ist Polizist. Neugierde liegt im Blut.
Meine Großmutter kommt aus Winden.
My grandmother. Hold on. I'm just gonna write that down. So, Agnes's grandmother is from Winden. That's very interesting. I would like to also know what happened to her husband. Why is he dead? Does that have something to do with anything? Or I feel like everything has something to do with something. And the question is still, which I know I will find out, are we gonna travel to more time periods, or is it just these three now? We're talking about the 33, all the triangle thing, Trinity knot, all this stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's just these three times, but I wonder if we do go back, you know. Now we have mentioned her grandmother, we're in 53, so that would have been like, you know, that could be 33 or 66 years before this that we see her grandma, you know. Just the fact that we are even mentioning someone mentions their mother or grandmother or something like this makes me already think like, okay, what year would that be in, and can we see it? I don't know. We'll see. But okay.
Darf ich fragen, wie Ihre Großmutter hieß?
Please, it would be great.
In Wahrheit, vielleicht ist Gretchen bei Helge.
Ja, ganz bestimmt.
Kannst du nicht mal hinfahren und nachschauen?
He's like, are you kidding me? I've been running around all day.
Und solange ein Wurmloch existiert, besteht eine geschlossene Zeitschleife.
It's a closed time loop.
Alles miteinander. Nicht nur die Vergangenheit beeinflusst die Zukunft, sondern auch die Zukunft die Vergangenheit. Das ist wie bei der Frage nach dem Huhn und dem Ei.
Yeah. Oh God.
Wir können nicht mehr sagen, welches von beiden zuerst da war.
Yeah, I feel like that's from what I understand from the show from before, is that like that's kind of where this is gonna go. That it's not only what happened in the past that will affect the future, but that also like people will find out like well, now this, for example, that what happened with Mikkel, you know, he's from 2019, then he travels back in time, and then he's stuck there, and now he can't go back because the little boy from 2019 is now also a grown man in 2019, or like, you know, like the loops are getting like, you can't undo them, because if you undo them, then people would not have been born and all this stuff would not have happened, and you know, like it affects everything. So good. Now I'm also very interested to see if Ulrich is gonna be able to go back. I mean, Jonas was able to go back. He had the map though in the light, and like he kind of knew more than Ulrich, like what he was getting himself into. He had the letter from his dad. He had some information about possibility of time travel, but Ulrich is not really on the same page. But I think, well, now at least that he's here in 53, he understands now, I think. He has enough evidence that he knows that he is actually in 1953. He's met his dad, his grandma, all these people, whatever, you know, like people, different people have said the year, like he knows where he is. I'm sure he understands that if he just goes back to the cave, he has a possibility to go back home. But what is gonna happen then? He's now here finding all this stuff out, and that this thing is real, and figuring out that Erik and Yasin, for example, are both there dead, you know, in 53. He's gonna come back with all this information to 2019. Like, what is that gonna do? Everyone's gonna think he's even more crazy than he already is. Was that dead birds? Oh my God.
Du bist Helge Doppler, oder?
Ja, wieso? Haben Sie den Mann gefunden, den Sie suchen?
Ja.
Yeah, he's right here in front of me.
Sie sehen traurig aus.
Was hast du in deiner Kiste?
Just dead animals. It's fine.
Hast du die tot gemacht?
Die fallen einfach so vom Himmel. Plumpsen einfach so runter. Ich sammle sie nur.
He's like Charlotte.
Sie sind so schön, wenn sie tot sind.
Yeah, there we go. Now we cross the line. Creepy kid. They're so beautiful when they're dead.
Aber du wirst mal was tot machen. Die beiden Jungs auf der Baustelle.
Yeah, you will kill them.
Mein Bruder.
My son.
Mein Sohn. Nicht jetzt, aber später. Aber ich kann das ändern. Weißt du? Ich kann
He's gonna kill him.
ändern. Und die Zukunft.
Oh, this is wild. And he bites him like he taught him. He's fighting back. It's great. I mean, this is... Is this how he ends up with the ear, the face, blood, everything? Like the feeling of running around in the forest, trying to catch a kid, a little kid, to kill him. That's crazy. But yeah, if he kills Helge at this age, that would change a lot. Oh my god. Terrible. Terrible. Like watching it knowing that this is gonna happen. Because we know. That's why they're at the cabin. That's why he goes down to the... Oh my god. To the hatch. Because they are at the hatch. Oh, that's... But is the hatch then now gonna have the wallpaper and the electric chair and everything in there in 53? Because when we saw, well, they were cleaning it when we saw it in the end of last episode. So maybe right now it is all there, but then they will clean it after or something. I don't know, but this is wild. Helge from the present with ear, TikTok, all of this. That's all because of Ulrich. I wonder if he didn't have dementia. Or even when he does he recognize Ulrich? You know? That's the man who attacked me. Who told me to bite the next time they come and find me, and then... Like, he had multiple interactions with him. But he was so young. And then he was, like, almost killed, so...
Dann verstehe ich nicht, wo sie ist.
Hier ist kein Hund.
This woman is...
Vielen Dank.
Not very happy with her life. I wonder what her story is. I would want to know more. Like, she's very interesting as a character because she is so angry and closed off and rude to not only to her kid, to her husband, to now police, everyone. Like, she's the same. It's not like she's mad with her kid or something. She doesn't like her own child and then she shows it. She's like this with everyone. Why? What is her story? Yeah, is she gonna find him now in the forest with the blood all over his face? And because he was with eyes open when he was on the ground, it looked like he was dead. Oh my god. But the room is like this. What the hell? Where does he time travel with this? Because he's like this in the room when we saw him in the last episode. This is wild. I also wonder how much this experience affected like the kind of person that he seems to be in the 80s. A little like simple kind of, you know? And then having the dementia and stuff, or is there something, it's not dementia, but it's actually some damage that this whole experience did to him. First, a grown man hitting him with a rock multiple times to his head, and then dragging him, even when he was dragging him by the feet down the stairs, for example, you know, with his head, you know, like he hit his head so many times in this small amount of time that I wouldn't be surprised if that also affected him quite a lot. This looks so good. Guys, I told you. Oh, this song again, the song. Amazing. Gay Panic. She's like, guys, this is fantastic. She's just waiting for her dog, and the dog has time traveled. I mean, the dog wouldn't be able to, like, time travel, right? With the... Oh, okay. It's like from cigarettes or something? Is the mom doing this? Or is the dad not actually dead? So good. Oh.
Unser aller Leben ist miteinander
Yeah,
verbunden.
see? Oh my god.
Ein Schicksal geknüpft an das nächste. Jede unserer Taten nur eine Antwort auf eine vorangegangene Tat. Ursache, Wirkung. Nichts als ein unendlicher Tanz.
I want this wall, like there's pictures on my wall.
Ist miteinander verbunden.
Yeah, everything is connected to everything else. We hear it once again. Wait, I feel like, oh my god, I feel like we saw, yeah, here, that's fucking Claudia. Oh my god, that is Claudia. I was like, I feel like we saw her on the wall. I feel like we've seen a picture of that lady, but I don't even know if in the beginning of the show did we even see these three pictures. Yeah, because now we've met Claudia as a kid. We've seen her as a middle Claudia, and then I'm like, in the present day she's not there. Wait, yeah, so she's Regina's mom and the lover of Tronte. I'm like, does she have connections to anyone else? What the hell? Because when this scene starts, we see these like hand grenades and like weapons and stuff here, which look very modern. So I guess this has to be the present time. And when we've seen this wall, this room, all of this before, this reminds me a little bit of the hatch, but this is not the hatch, right? But but this is where Claudia is. So she has made this wall. So she is like connecting everything to or like, you know. I would like to think this is in 2019, but I have no idea what time she is in here. Because this has to be the same room. It is the same room, yeah. That she's just standing there staring at this.
Aber das ist auch
I love this show. But that's just a theory. Just a nice story. You can take whatever you want from this.
Ich werde das Gefühl nicht los, dass Sie eigentlich wegen etwas anderem hier sind.
Was, wenn ich Ihnen sage, dass alles, was in Ihrem Buch steht, wahr ist? Dass Zeitreise möglich ist. Ich komme aus der Zukunft.
Great. Oh my god. This is so good. Yeah, here's the machine.
Er ist kaputt. Sie müssen ihn reparieren.
Das kann ich nicht.
Das sind doch Ihre Initialen. Sie haben ihn gebaut.
Der Apparat kann die Reise durch Raum und Zeit ermöglichen. Der kann ein Wurmloch erzeugen.
Er öffnet ein Portal, durch das man 33 Jahre in die Vergangenheit und 33 Jahre in die Zukunft reisen kann, ja.
To the past or the future.
Und das Wurmloch, durch das Sie gekommen sind.
Oh my god, okay.
Hat das der Apparat gemacht?
Nein.
So it doesn't create
In
it?
Monaten gab es einen Störfall im Kernkraftwerk und dabei ist Energie freigesetzt worden. Und der Apparat ist jedenfalls in der Lage, den gleichen Prozess zu wiederholen.
Wait, oh my god, now I feel like this is very, very important to actually understand. So this device, like you can travel, yeah, either 33 years to the past or 33 years to the future. But it's not like this device can create it, but something that happened a few months ago in the plant created a wormhole. Well, a few months could be whatever in this show. To him, especially, the hood guy. Few months could be like in 33 years ago, and 3 months, you know?
Ein Störfall im Kernkraftwerk und dabei ist Energie freigesetzt worden.
It released a blast of energy.
Der Apparat ist jedenfalls in der Lage, den gleichen
But the
Prozess
device is able to repeat. Okay.
Wurmloch erschaffen.
Nein, ich will das Bestehende zerstören.
Okay.
Ich möchte, dass Sie jetzt gehen. Gehen Sie jetzt.
So he wants to close it. Interesting. But he's gonna leave the machine to him. He's like, if I just leave it, you're gonna want to fix it, and I will be back.
Ich habe die Zukunft gesehen. Ich muss das alles wieder gerade biegen. Und Sie müssen mir dabei helfen.
Great. He has the same box there. The one that he's building. Yeah. Wait, but how could there be two at the same time? Because if the hood guy took the one he has made, how is it still in this timeline? See, this is the episode that's gonna break my brain. The first one that is gonna actually be like, I don't understand. Because it is the same thing, but this one he took from the shelf is like brand new and shiny and golden, and the other one is like broken, like he said. Like, I need you to fix this. So it will just be after this day. If this is in 86, on a specific day when this conversation happened, it has to be after that day at some point when the hood guy comes and takes it and then just uses it and has it for years, however long, and then comes back to the time before he took it with the one that he took. So that's why we have two at the same time, right? But so this is like some kind of time machine that he's been building. But he also seemed shocked. I keep forgetting his name. Townhouse. Sounds like townhouse. He seemed shocked that he was like, wait, this machine can help you travel through time and space, you know? Not like, oh, my machine works. He seems more like, what are you talking, you know, like, doesn't really understand it. Even though he built it. I'm sure he built it for that purpose. And then we go to... There's gonna be some... His phone, maybe does he have his phone with him? Some futuristic something that he's gonna find from the jacket. Or his wallet with the, like, his birthday or something. Headphones. Bluetooth, I don't know, was 2019, did we have Bluetooth headphones yet? Yeah. Oh, this is great. He's like, what is this? I mean, that must look insane from someone from 53. Yeah. That's crazy. And he just sat there outside waiting for what? To see if Helge comes out? It's the end, isn't it? So what is he... what is his plan? Like, what is Ulrich's plan? So, this is excellent. Excellent, guys. What is Ulrich's plan? I would think that if he was like, I just want to kill Helge so he won't kill any of these people who he has killed. I would think he already did. I would think he at least thinks he did. We know he didn't because we see Helge in the future and the future. We see the middle version of him and the old version of him. We know he's not dead. But he seemed pretty dead here when Ulrich was like beating him and took him down there and whatever. I'm like, why is he still waiting there? How long is he gonna wait for? Someone's gonna find him. How long is it gonna take for the townhouse to give the phone to the police or something and be like, look at this, you know, and they're gonna try and find him, and like, what are they gonna do to him when they find out that he's from the future? Is he gonna have time? Like, is he gonna go back to the future already before anyone finds him? He just came and like beat the shit out of Helge, little Helge, and then goes back to the real time. Because he needs to figure out at some point too that it didn't work, or he didn't die. I wonder if he realized as he's beating him with the rock that Helge has the ear. Like, does he realize that he's the one who did that? You know? That he did this happened in the past already. This has already happened. You know? Helge has already been a kid and this has happened to him when Ulrich is in the present time. And then he just travels back in time and then he's the one who does it. Yeah, this is crazy. This show is so crazy. I love it so much. I can't believe we were in 53. Not this whole episode, but pretty much like a majority of this episode we were in 53. We again met so many, not even so many new characters, but so many new ages of old characters, which is so interesting. And the way they reveal these to us, the audience, is so good because they're so different from each other. All the scenes where it is revealed who is who and stuff. Like with Helge, when we saw little Helge for the first time, for example, all we needed to see is like 1 second of him on the screen with the blood on his face, and we're like, that's little Helge. You know, we don't even need to hear him say, I'm Helge, to someone and us be like, oh my god, that's little Helge. We already know from just seeing him. But then like in this episode, for example, when Ulrich meets his dad and grandma, there's nothing about them that would make us just see the woman in the red and be like, oh, that's his grandma, you know? But then she comes and introduces herself. Like that kind of introduction. And then the way Claudia and Tante meet each other, for example, with the moms. I don't know, just the way they reveal these things, it's very good. Like, because we have these revelations so many times in the show. In every episode, there's already many, like, oh my god, that's that person, you know? So it could get really repetitive and quite boring. But it's not boring. None of it is boring. Nothing about the show is boring, and nothing about oh, this is again another, you know, this version of this character and this age and whatever. None of it is like, well, yeah, I mean, we've kind of seen this before. Like, nothing about it is anything less than super interesting. So I love that. I love that so much. Oh, I do have to say first that, like, I did not expect, but I do love the gay content that we're getting from 1953 with the two moms. I did not expect that to happen, but I'm so here for that. No, I mean, kind of not, because Claudia's mom is married, so I'm not like all for cheating on your husband with a stranger who comes into your house. But it is, I don't know, it's always nice to see representation, even though this Agnes doesn't seem like, it's not like she seems like a bad person, but she doesn't seem like a really good person. Because the vibe I got from Claudia's mom, she seemed very sweet and innocent. I think the setting for the two of them, there's the woman from the bigger city who's sort of stylish and confident and whatever. She's gonna be the one who's like flirting with her. And then there's the other woman who has never even thought about other women like that. And this is like, she's completely innocent and just, you know, and then she just touches her hand when they're doing the sheet, and she just touches her hand. She's like, you know, you can see like her whole life flash through her in front of her eyes, you know. Then she's like, what is this? What is this feeling? So sudden and new. I don't know. Even though it's wrong, I don't support it in a way, but in some way I really do. I mean, I want to see where that goes. Is that actually going to go somewhere? And what is the drama that's going to come from it? Because also the relationship between Egon and her, the wife, seemed quite relatively nice comparing. It's like 1953 and it could be a lot worse. Or it seemed quite like they were not like up to each other like Helge's parents were, for example, quite, you know, it didn't seem warm, the relationship. So I'm not like, oh, you should cheat on him with her. But I want to see where that goes. Anyways, that's the first thing that I wanted to talk about. There are so many more important things in this episode. Can't believe the scientist has the phone now. Is Ulrich gonna... I'm starting to get a feeling that Ulrich is not gonna be going back. But the fact that he traveled in time, like the fact that his son did this crazy, insane thing that happens to 1 in a million, you know, that he traveled through time 33 years to the past and now he's stuck there. The fact that he was able to get so close, even though it was such a crazy thing for Mikkel, like the fact that it happened to him, it's so unlikely. The fact that he was able to do it, time travel as well, find the place, go through the door and whatever. The fact that he's so close to actually finding him, but then he chooses, I guess he chooses the wrong direction in the tunnel and then accidentally goes 33 years even before that. The fact that he was able to do that and then he is 33 years off is so sad. That he's so close but so far. I also wonder, I'm like, has Mikkel gone back to the cave? He did go back there and he heard the dad yell and stuff. Why was he not able to go back? Because now I'm like, if Ulrich goes back to the cave and tries to go back, is he also not going to be able to go? Because when Jonas did it, it seemed so easy. I'm like, is it just the map and the light that make it easy? I hope Ulrich gets back somehow, even though I don't know what that's gonna do to the story. I don't know what anything is gonna do to the story, honestly, because like what is possibly gonna happen next? What could happen next? I don't even know. Are people in 53 gonna actually understand that he's from 2019? And what are they gonna do about that? I think even though time travel is insane in any timeline, no matter what year you're in, it would be crazy to hear that someone is time traveling. But I think for someone in 2019, it would be easier to accept and easier to understand that someone is time traveling from the past than it would be in 1953 to be like, I'm from the future, you know? But the fact that he was able to find Tannhaus and talk to him, I think he's the only person possible in 53 who could understand him and who could believe him. Maybe some of the kids or something, maybe Helge could have, or someone like that would have been like, oh, that's nice, you know? Because I feel like kids like easily believe stuff. But then that's not gonna be very helpful, you know? That you get some kid on your side and you're like, yeah, he believes me. Because who else from that time would be like, oh, fantastic. let's start investigating this time travel situation with this man who came from 2019, like try and help him go back or something. I think the scientist guy, Tannhaus, is the only one who could somehow help him, somehow, I don't know, even believe him. Especially now that he got the phone and stuff, like as evidence. But also now he has, if not killed, at least abused quite badly a young kid who has very important dad, at least, you know, like important rich people. So the fact that Ulrich did that is not gonna look good for him, for his possibility to explain himself and get back home and whatever. They're probably gonna put him to jail or something, you know, and then he's gonna be stuck there. This is crazy. I want to see Katarina right now. How is she doing? Her husband is gone to 1953. Her son is in 1986. Her daughter is cheating on her boyfriend with her nephew. And Magnus is finding condoms in the forest. What is Magnus doing? He found their necklace too. Having sex with Franziska. There we go. It's wild that even though we have these episodes where the only characters from the original cast, the original timeline we see is like Ulrich. Did we see anyone else? Well, the hood guy was kind of there since the beginning. But it's all so connected and so, like, it all makes so much sense together that even though we don't see, even though we're with complete strangers on the screen, it's so interesting. It's so good. The writing and the storytelling of the show is insane. And the fact that we saw Claudia, old Claudia, is also insane. Was that the present? It has to be the present because of her age. Or is she time traveling as well? You know, like, is the old Claudia in some other time? But then it, like I said, it looked quite modern, the hand grenades and the guns and stuff. So I don't know, but that is wild. I don't even know what my theory would be about that. Why is she the one with that wall? Is she working with the hood guy or someone? Is she doing this on her own? Is she figuring stuff on her own? But that shot that we like, even that we show the wall again, which we have seen a few times, I think, in these episodes already. It starts, I think the whole show starts with the shots of the different, you know, pictures of people in different ages and stuff on the wall. And now we see it again. And we're like, okay, here we go again. But every time they show it, it's interesting to watch because we have met more of these different aged characters. And then we show the whole wall and we're like, yeah, here it is again. And then the camera just turns and then we cut to whoever is looking at the wall, who probably was looking at the wall since the beginning, but we just didn't see her. Again, the way they reveal that was so effective. It's so, like, everything. I think that's the best word to describe this show. It's effective. The effect that it has on the viewer, the sound, the way the story is told, the order in which we find out things and how the story builds and all of this. Everything has a huge effect on me, at least, as a viewer. The way it's filmed. Again, the casting is just insane. Like, even that young Tiedemann here, I'm like, if I didn't know, if I had to guess who that is, it would definitely be him. Like, he looked so much like he would look younger. It's crazy. And what happened to Claudia? Because she's so put together and all of this in the 86 when we see her. What happened to her for her to then be like that 33 years later, or however many years later, or whatever timeline, or wherever she is now? And what has happened to Helge's mom? What is the story with Tronte and he's the burns on his arm and stuff. Is that the mom? Is that the dad? Is that someone else? That was clearly like something that we're supposed to pay attention to now and be like, what are they gonna reveal about that next, and how are they gonna do that? The dog is still missing. I'm guessing the dog traveled in time. That has to be it. Even though I don't know how that would be possible. There's no way that dog is opening those doors. Well, they looked so heavy and stuff. I don't know. But I'm very much here for it. I might watch the next episode now as well, because I'm so into this. It's so hard to watch it one by one. So I will watch 2 by 2. 2 more episodes left of this season, and then we're done. And again, I have the feeling that like after every episode, I have the same feeling that I want to go back to the beginning of the show and watch everything so far, you know? Now that we know this, I want to see everything from the beginning. I want to see Helge since the beginning, being like, that's the kid who was abused by Ulrich. Or like, you know, like so many things, because we find out so many things in every episode. Then I would want to go back and see it all with new eyes. The fact that they found the 2 bodies there, the boys, it's quite perfect too that Ulrich is there in that time and in that moment when he's hearing that this is like, that's where the boys are. It of course confirms completely his theory about the boy in the present being Mads. There's no questions about it anymore. And I would think that for him it also, like, he has to now think that Mikkel is time traveling. But he of course doesn't know anything about the 33 years or the fact that he could be in 86 or anything like that. And the fact that he saw his mother, yeah, his mom with Mikkel's mom, Ines. Like, again, the timing of everything, and then how naturally, like, it feels, because this could also feel very cheesy and very like, the way they reveal names and who, like, each characters are and stuff, it could feel very like forced. That when he's in that clock shop with Tannhaus, and then there's 2 girls who come in, it could feel very forced to be like, hi, I'm Ines, hi, I'm Jana, and then, you know, but it doesn't. Everything feels so like it just happens and they just happen to be there. And if you're not listening and paying attention, you will miss so much. Like this show, I love that this show is so, you need to pay so much attention. There is no way you can watch this show being on your phone. Because nowadays they make so many shows like so much easier because you have to make them in a way that like people can watch it while being on their phones, which is insane. This show is, well, of course this was like 10 years ago almost, but this show is definitely not that. First of all, it's in German, so you can't even, or I couldn't listen to it in the background. And there's so many things that you will miss if you don't actually pay attention. I love that. But yeah, if I was watching that scene being on my phone, I probably would have missed like who the girls' names were and why is he so. I would think that the point of them being there was just that they said it out loud, that there was 2 boys who were found dead, and he's like, what? And then he leaves, you know? The fact that these were who they were and the way it's revealed, it just feels so natural and like, yeah, of course. That's also why I think every single line, every breath they do on the show is important and something you need to pay attention to. But then the fact that now we know that even Yasin is dead. I'm like, why is Ellie not? Why did she meet with Noah and get the clock and come back? Or same with Bartosz. Why did he, or with Mikkel? You know, why were they special? Well, Mikkel just time traveled on his own, I guess. Yasin was not in the cave when he was captured, he was in the forest. But why was it him exactly that they took, you know? And we saw the little shot of Noah in this episode too, when they were talking about the Antichrist. And that's when we showed him for a little bit. And then we see him in front of the church where Jonas met the hood guy. But that's the only shot we saw of him in this episode. Like, what is Noah's story? What time is he actually from? Who were the two boys that were bullying Helge? I hated that scene. It's so terrible to watch always these bullying scenes. And what is the connection between Helge's family and Claudia's family? Why is she the one tutoring him? How are the parents? Like, I would think they are somehow connected. But also now when when Tiedemann went to their house and talked to the mom, yeah, it didn't seem like, oh hi, old friend, family friend, something. I don't know. Maybe it's just through the school that they were like put together, that she's tutoring him or something. But then also the fact that the hood guy is saying to Tannhaus that 2 months ago or a couple months ago there was a thing that happened at the power plant and all that also confirms my theory that they were in 86 in that scene when they were talking to each other. Because it can't be 53 because, you know, well, we see the young version of him in 53 and they're still building the whole thing. But is the thing that actually happened like 3 months before in 86 or in 2019 or in some other year, like just 2 months before for him, the hood guy, but he keeps traveling through time like all the time. So what does that mean? It's interesting, very, very interesting. This show is insane. I love it so much. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. Thanks for watching this, guys. You're great. This show is great. If you like the video, you can like it, subscribe. If you want to see episodes beforehand, when this is on you, if you're watching on YouTube, when this is on YouTube, first episode of season 2 will be out already for members on Patreon and members on YouTube. All the legends. I love watching this show. So thank you for watching with me. I will see you in the next one, episode 9. Okay, bye guys.